question this week from Matt in the Northwoods of Wisconsin. And he's got some questions about pigs. His main question is, how can I run pastured feeder pigs together with our breeding stock, yet kept them fed properly? And here are some details. He's been raising pastured hogs for the last 3 years. His sows are getting a bit too fat, and the feeders are finishing out a bit too small. He says they free choice feed organic grain while they're rotating them on their paddocks throughout the spring, summer, and fall. He's got a theory that, by feeding everyone the same feed, which is 16% protein early and 14% late, the sows are getting too fat and consuming too much feed to maintain their proper body conditioning. And his feeder pigs, they're not able to keep up. That's a big deal, because at the end of the day, it's your feeder pigs that are making you money. So if the sows are literally hogging the feed area, the other guys who are the money makers can't get to the feed. So he's kind of wondering, what are my thoughts here? He's asking, have I seen any kind of a mobile feeder that he could use to restrict access to some of the pigs, and kind of separate them or whatever? He's concerned about trying to just use a single hot wire or two with a sow that, if there's something she wants on the other side of the fence, she's going to get her head under there, take the hit from the shock and get over there and get it. And Matt, I totally agree. That's exactly what that sow is going to do. I think to answer your original question, you're trying to put a square peg in a round hole. I personally, in the interest of full disclosure, I no longer farrow on my farm for many, many reasons I've discussed on the Grass-Fed Life podcast. And I'm not going to go into that here, but I do not farrow anymore. I have farrowed. What I will tell you is that I think you need to run your pigs in two separate groups for the sake of efficiency. I realize that this increases the workload and reduces your profitability from the aspect of labor. But my assumption is that you're going to make all that up by having fatter stocker pigs that you're finishing out, your feeder pigs. So I think that that's really what you need to do. I have not seen any kind of an apparatus like you're describing here where you can, essentially you're trying to separate them anyway. You're just trying to do it maybe with like a single hot wire or something like that. And, I think when it comes to pigs, sows and feeder pigs need to be kept separate for obvious reasons. Those are my thoughts, because their feed requirements are different. The protein requirements are different. There's just, so many different nutritional needs that really are just, they're too varied, I think, to run them together. Your protein, even, 16%, I mean, that probably is too high for your sows. And if they're not letting the little guys up to the feeder, I mean, they're costing you money. So my opinion is you separate them into two separate groups, or you maybe you just don't farrow anymore. Maybe you just buy feeder pigs like I do and just finish out the feeder pigs. So that's one of the reasons I don't farrow. It literally is a whole nother enterprise within the farm business structure. And, I'm a one-man wrecking crew. And from a personal contextual standpoint, like farrowing isn't anything that, I get all happy and excited about. I'm a producer. So I just want to get feeder pigs and finish them and take them to a butcher and then, do the marketing and collect the profit. But everybody's different. Your contextual wants and desires might be different than mine. Farrowing might be something that you really enjoy doing and you want to keep doing it, or maybe you like having the entire, farrow to fork on your farm from a marketing standpoint. I mean, that's certainly a bonus. And if you're not marketing that way, you should. I think it gives you a very distinct advantage in marketing. So, I guess at the end of the day, I'll just go back to square peg, round hole. And I think you just need to separate them into two groups. And and treat them as two separate enterprises, really, and run the numbers separately. I think that's the bigger thing here. Are you really making any money by farrowing on farm? I think when most farms run the numbers many, many times, they are surprised to learn that farrowing really doesn't pencil out as well as they thought it would. And that was what I found. I could go buy feeder pigs cheaper than I could farrow them on farm. It was a no-brainer for me because it saved me tons and tons of time, and it saved me money. So when you can save time and money, you call that a win, and at least in my book, and you move forward from there. So that's what I would tell you, Matt. I don't know if there's somebody out there maybe has got this figured out, if there's some kind of magical solution, but my guess is no. I think you've got two separate groups. You manage them as two separate businesses in two separate herds, and track your numbers carefully. Make sure it's paying you to farrow on farm.